Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Top Tarot Miners. This is the final episode of the Cup Suit. Already 2 suits into this journey. This will be a 56 episode series, followed by a couple of, or maybe one or, yeah, videos to highlight the decks that received the greatest number of top cards. Now, this is a particularly challenging card we're looking at today. And it's funny, I've shared this book many times, this book of poetry by R. Lloyd Hageland that doesn't accompany, it's an additional book for the Voyager Tarot. And I was confused for a moment because I was reading the poem from the Man of Cups, which I thought felt like many of the King of Cup cards that I have seen, especially the shadowy ones. And so I just want to read a couple things here. Man of Cups glides over the waters, riding the mountainous cliffs, sliding gracefully across their crests until slammed by waters denied. Surfer keeps his emotions at bay. He bravely rides them, watching them build, until towering they burst upon him as a flower, drenching him in weeping perfumes and cathartic transformation. When you meet the Man of Cups, surf your emotions and wait. Bravely prepare for ideal time, knowing that the swells could grow to dangerous heights. The energy of Man of Cups is nimble, patient, and objective. And I like that word nimble because all of the court cards in the Suit of Cups should be able to flow and move and bend. Surfer waits for the perfect time to burst forth in roaring passion. So that sounds like a Knight of Cups, right? The piece here that's so really challenging is the gliding over the surface and not being willing or able to dive down. And sometimes I feel like the King of Cups holds the water at bay, would rather have a little wall around themselves protected. They've journeyed through the suit of water just too much. It's overwhelming. And so and then I realized, okay, so the surfer actually is the Knight of Cups. And in this deck, the King of Cups is the Sage of Cups. Now, the Sage of Cups energy, the very positive qualities of the King of Cups, is represented in a couple of the decks I'm going to share with you today, including the Herb Crafter and the Osho Zen for sure. And so this is one of these cards where there is a huge range of emotion and ability and interpretation. I think it's one of the most difficult court cards to interpret. So please know that, and something I say to my students is that the deck you choose for your reading is the perfect deck. So don't question the deck that you have chosen. Like once the reading's on the table, the reading's on the table, and whatever's coming through is coming through. I want to read you the Sage of Cups, which is called the Regenerator in the Voyager Tarot. Regenerator rebuilds by allowing flowing waters to sweep stagnant, blocked emotions, like flowers after spring showers or lovers crying in reborn love. Moving the stuck rebuilds the new, bringing smiles to craggy faces like tumbling, bubbling waters, churning down granite cliffs, falling freely. If you have the Regenerator card, allow old waters to flow freely again. Feel the surging relief of sunlight striking through and giving again bright prism colors and sweet new delights. Allow emotional sage to rebuild your lavender sweet emotions. The energy of Regenerator relentlessly cuts through granite walls of denial, sweeping the old and birthing anew, flowing ever to your ocean reborn. This Okay, so this range of the masculine court cards, I think, needs to be navigated carefully when we are. There are so many layers to the court cards. You can look at the Sephira on the Tree of Life. So King's home, right, is in Hokmah, the second Sephira, which is this place very close to Keter, to the crown chakra, right? So it should be illuminating. Should be, right? And a lot of the time we don't get that energy in a King of Cups. The Knights, on the other hand, have this beautiful place in the center of the Tree of Life at Tiferet. It should be a peaceful place. And I mean, there's so many discussions to be had here, so please take my courses. However, yes, read the deck that you are working with and know that this range here often it feels very scorpionic, like the Scorpio journey, right? So some people are more comfortable on the surface. Others are ready and have done the work, the preparation to dive deep into their own darkness. And the King of Cups here will guide you on that journey. And sometimes they reflect, I really feel like almost like a repulsion of it, or a lack of patience with it. They're sort of done with the emotional journey. So let's look at these cards and talk about them specifically. So I think in the Kurandara of Water, so we have healers in the Herb Crafter Tarot. We also have a healer in the Osho Zen Tarot. So let's look at the description for the seaweed card. The Kurandara of Water flows through life with ease. So there's that flowy word again. So you want to be looking and using flowy words when you're describing watery court cards, or looking for that in light qualities of the water court cards. They, pronoun substitution, neither hide their feelings nor let them overtake. Very important. So let me take a sip of tea. When, especially the suit of emotions, right? What is a master of the suit of cups? That is one who has learned better how to ride the wave. So the surfer is going to get hit by the waves and knocked over, not know how to deal with all the water. So the knight, right? The king, however, should be able to navigate the water. Let me read that again. They neither hide their feelings nor let them overtake. They understand emotions have cycles too, and easily navigate their changes. They remember that our first home was the sea, and to the sea we shall return. They make time for daily rituals that bring deep healing, wash away inner turmoil, cleanse, bathe. They know that seaweed nourishes the body and enjoys snacking on this salty treat. People are drawn to their open heart and comforting embrace. Their counsel brings a sense of calm and well-being. So there is a tremendous comfort with the element of water, its nourishing and calming qualities. And I think that there is this idea of role model here as well too. Let's look at the Osho Zen in a second. In that the King of Water is a model of calmness. And maybe that, what I was saying earlier, is a misperception. because they are so still and so zen. I wonder. Okay, so we have this lovely sort of Rastafarian King of Cups in the textured tarot in the background, and then we have Grandpa in the foreground from the Sasarai Bito, and on the left with the hands, the healing hands, is the Osho Zen Tarot. So the King of Cups knows something, right? They probably have a similar skill level to the Queen of Cups, but they're not an active intuitive, right? They're not, they stand back a little more. And I've often reflected on the King of Cups in the Waite Smith Tarot that floats on this cement block on the ocean, is separated from the ocean. They are one removed. There needs to be a level of control here in this solar king energy, whereas the Queen of Cups is all in. Their heart is open without a doubt, and there's similarities between this king and the King of Pentacles sometimes. When I think of the King of Pentacles, I believe it's in the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. We'll see that in another 28 episodes down the road. One of my favorite King of Pentacles. They have an open heart, open to receiving. So we are in a receptive suit. And so in the Osho Zen, we see hands-on healing. We see the movement of energy. And I do my best not to get lost in the English language with the word emotion, because emotion, motion, if you think of E as energy, emotion is energy and motion. And what are emotions but movement of energy, whether they are hot and fiery or warm and loving. Okay. But what else do we have on the table? Now, I did my selection some time ago when I started the Top Tarot Majors journey, and there was a few cards from the Tarot of the Divine that I pulled out, and often the tale that accompanies the card doesn't match. Well, it does. On one hand, it matches the artwork because it's an image of a particular legend or tale or fairy tale, myth. However, the essence of the story, I'm not sure that it matches what I've been saying about the King of Cups. However, in this image, I think there's something that we can capture here in this dragon, river dragon. This protector of the pearl, the magical pearl that this little boy found, and it was a true gift to him and his mother, who had very little, put the pearl in a rice pot, empty rice pot, and then in the morning it was full of rice. And the same thing happened with a pot of oil and a pot of money. The house was raided, and the boy took the pearl, dove into the river, and became a dragon. Very short version of the story, but the gist here is the power that came to the boy through his connection with the water. We can become very powerful if we allow our emotional body, if we allow ourselves to be informed through our emotional body. Let ourselves be guided by our emotional body. Yeah. Maybe not governed by, but guided by. All right, I've got a few other cards on the table. This is from Future Ancestor Tarot. I like this card. In this deck, the queens are called listeners, the kings are called makers. And that's not unique to this deck. There are a couple others that do that as well too. But what I'm finding here, seeing here is, so we have what is molding the clay, right? We have clay. We have, it's soft, it's malleable, it's flexible. It is created on something that turns. So I'm seeing this maker of cups here as one that likes the process of making a cup or a bowl or a plate, the feeling of the clay running through the fingers, the connection of water and earth, the beauty that these vessels become. It's almost like a surrender to the element. And it's very peaceful. It's very, very zen. Like the King of Cups in the Sasraibito and the Textured Tarot. And then here's the King of Cups from Tarot of Echoes, who has somehow held water in their hand, and a little bird is in a place of trust and drinking, hello doggy, drinking from the hand of the King of Cups. So this being lives in reverence of both the element and all beings. There is a flow and a connection with life and living. And I believe in one of the water poems that was, it might have been in the surfer one, right? There's a sense of grace. I love that, grace until he was slammed by the waters. If you want another really great deck for this kind of flowy energy and the element of water, go to the Dancer Suit in Tarot of the She. I probably could have pulled out a card from that deck as well too. Okay. So this, like I said, quite a range of energy for this card. I'm going to back out. I have one more card to share with you. And that is from Pagan Otherworlds. And I think this king here, go back in, let's see him up close. So this feels more familiar. There is a piece of cement separating them from the ocean, in this case, the land, the water. While he is here, he does have shoes on. There's not direct contact with the water. I feel this, it's like, oh, not this again. Oh, when will this tumultuous it's that feeling of always navigating the deep waters, always navigating deep emotions, and looking for space between the deep emotions. And maybe here he is taking a breath in that space. Perhaps that is one of the things that he has learned to do, is to enjoy the pauses and to breathe in between the waves. Because he knows well that another one is just around the corner. There is no easy way to say this card, King of Cups, means this. It's as big as the ocean and as big, as varied as the number of emotions that could arise or be associated in response to this question. Yeah. Okay. So my top 5 King of Cups cards. I am going to leave the Pagan Otherworlds. I really do like the court cards in this deck, most of them anyway. So that one, I'm going to leave the Curandera of Water. And let's go with those 4, and then I'll pick one more. And I didn't put the collages out for either of the Voyager cards. That is the Sage. I'm just going to show you. It's a pretty cool card, actually. And that's the Man of Cups, which would be the equivalent of the Knight. Okay, so am I going to choose that one? I don't know. I feel like the Sasuribito and the Textured are so very similar. And there's something kind of similar here. And something else I didn't say was this connection of hands and heart. Hands and heart. The hands are an extension of the heart. And I feel as the master, the maker, the king, the sage of this suit, they are very aware of the connection between hands and heart. That we can express our heart through our hands. And maybe that's also what's going on here with the sharing of the cup of tea. Maybe he's just serving himself, putting milk into his tea. I don't know, but there's something about hands that feels kind of powerful. Okay, and we do have healing hands here. Hands-on healing. Okay. Honestly, I don't know. This is really, really difficult. Just because, like this says, a huge range. A huge, huge range. I don't know, my friends. And I know it doesn't have to be just 5, because I feel like I've got some really great cards happening here. Do we put out the Sage of Cups from this deck? And what is going on in the background of this card? Hard to say. Okay. I'm going to keep the Pagan Otherworlds because I think what I said about taking the breath in between the waves is really good here. This is a wonderful healer card, and yet the healing of the energy of water in the Herb Crafter is a little bit different than the healer card that I'm seeing in the Osho Zen. The Sage of Cups reminds me of the light qualities, all of the light qualities of the maker, sage, king of this element. And for its unique interpretation, I'm going to keep future ancestor in the top 5. So for today, top 5 King of Cups cards are Pagan Otherworlds, Herbcrafter, Voyager, Osho Zen, and Future Ancestor. And I will be back next week to begin the Suit of Swords. So I'll see you then. Take good care. Namaste.